Good morning, Mr. Radio. Morning, little chippy. Hello, my name is Dr. Harvi Millar. I teach in the Sobey School of Business. I'm currently in the Department of Finance, Information Systems, and Management Science. At the age of 15, I was introduced to jazz by a trio, the one and only jazz trio in St. Lucia, which is where I'm from. I think leaders can benefit by looking at jazz as a metaphor for how we actually approach solving problems. One of the areas that we can actually focus on in terms of my research, my research and my writings and my interests in terms of leadership and how music and jazz helps to inform that, is the concept of what I like to call distributed leadership. And when I say distributed leadership, what I mean is that when you employ people, it should not be an environment where you have the sort of orchestral model, where you have the conductor at the front simply basically expecting all the musicians to follow a script and to simply do that as accurately as possible. That's the difference between the orchestral model and the jazz ensemble. But I believe, given the environment that we're in today, what we need are the kind of employees that have the flexibility, that have the creativity, and then what you have is the jazz ensemble leader that allows leadership to be distributed, and the way in which that manifests in a jazz ensemble is when different people take a solo. Everyone has a chance to lead and everybody has a chance to follow. So there's that sort of both leadership and followership model that exists, that coexists in how we should approach organizations. Managers who actually embrace the concept of being both a follower and a leader, I think will do a whole lot better than those who simply see themselves as leaders. Because we don't know everything. And so at some point in time, we got to take cues from somewhere else. In terms of helping managers, one of the objectives was always to try to come up with a model that was accessible to managers. So what I attempted to do was to assist them with making decisions, because often managers would have a sort of a logic process that they go through, or a logical process that they go through in terms of how they would approach a problem. What I tried to do was not necessarily to map that, but also to give them another way to look at the problem, which is consistent with my whole approach of finding new ways to look at things, but ultimately help them in making a better decision by using creativity as a key driver. My research is about essentially solving problems that will have an impact on as many people as possible. Searching high but low, and now at last I know